Hello, everybody. Hello. Hello. How you guys doing? It's real humid here in Texas. Looks like it's getting ready to rain. I hope the weather is okay where you guys are. I'll be with you in a minute. Just make yourself comfortable. Getting everything all set up on my laptop. I hope it doesn't cut off. A lot of people have been getting interrupted. I think it's going to be okay. Hi, Cha-Cha O'Hara. Hello, Zach Price, Judith Tyree. Thank you guys for coming. Hello, Laura Spencer. Angela Bowden, good evening. Thanks for coming. Okay, we can just get right into it and adjust the camera just a little bit. But if you have a gardening question, you are welcome to put it in all caps. Let's see, let me adjust this just a little bit. Hi, Rwanda. This is a different day for me, so a lot of people may not be here. And I got a few things I want to announce. Found me a Presto canner, finally, in Nashville, Tennessee. All right. I'm happy for you, Cha-Cha. Looks a little crooked. Okay, I think it'll be okay. Okay, yeah, those canners are hard to come by. Zach Price, my eggplants turn yellow. The fruit itself, if it turned yellow, you should have picked it earlier. If it turned earlier, that means it's overripe. And you may not have, for example, Black Beauty comes in a dwarf, a mini size, medium size, large size. So it may have been just too ripe. Catch them a little bit sooner. Hi, Sylvia. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Sylvia, I tune in usually a little bit before 7. I was running a little bit late today. I tried to get here about 6:45 so that you would know it's normally every Monday night. And if you tune in early, if you have a specific question about gardening, I'll do my best to answer it. If I don't know the answer, I will direct you to where you can get the answer. And I ask that you put your questions in all caps. I use baking soda, but I still have a powdery mildew. What do you use? I use a product called Serenade, and it's normally like about $39. I get it off of Amazon, but the last time I checked, they have gone up tremendously with the price because they can, because a lot of people are gardening. But there are a lot of remedies, but the powdery mildew, that strand of the fungus that I get in my backyard, In my food forest, no matter if I have trees close together or if I have trees that have a lot of open space around them, I still get a powdery mildew, and the baking soda and the water does not help with mine. But you could also try milk and water, whole milk. And some people have told me they use a little peroxide in water, a little alcohol in water. I'm not recommending that because I did experiment. I don't know if I did it this year, but it turned the leaves real brown on my fig tree, is where I usually get it. But serenade, just like you serenade somebody on Amazon, you can check that to see if the price has gone down. Oh, thank you, Helen. I'm so happy you're here. Hi, Miss B. Washington. I'm in zone 9. Why do all my blooms keep falling off? Blooms of what? Laura, what blooms are falling off? And you're in zone 9, so you got to watch to make sure that it's not too hot where you are. And you may have to shade your particular plant. But I need some more specifics, some more details about what blooms are falling out. For example, okra blooms fall off and then you get an okra pod. So I don't know what you're growing. So give me a little bit more detail, dear. Hi, Lorraine. Judith, I'm happy that you're here. You're a very pretty lady. Beautiful picture. Okay. So if there aren't any more questions, let's go on and move on. Now, I'm gonna wait just one more minute or so because I really want to get some more information with the lady, what's her name? Laura Spencer in zone 9. Why do my blooms keep falling off? I really want to get your question. Where do I go to find the altitude to canning? The home preservation site is .gov or .org. Okay? And also you can go to the Ball's website or any of the canning websites like the Ball's book. It's another one. I can't think of it right now. It'll come to me and I'll tell you before the night is over. Okay, Lorraine T., you're the one that asked the question about can you take a refrigerator pickle recipe and make it into a canned one? Providing that you make your adjustments according to the Ball's Book of Canning. Most refrigerated pickles have a little bit more vinegar in them, 5% acidic vinegar, than the ones that you can by water bath. So you may not want to put as much vinegar in it. So what I would recommend to you to do is to just go on the home preservation website and look up refrigerated pickles and look up water bath candy pickles, and you're going to see it's going to be just a little difference there in the vinegar. Okay? But in the event, the answer to your question, if you don't want to do the research, is yes. But it might be a little bit too much acidic for your taste, okay? Because you're going to have that boiling water aspect. I bought a guava from an Asian market. Will it do okay in Houston? I have no idea. I have never grown a guava. I do know they are easily grown in 8A. That's where I live. My zone is 8A. But I couldn't answer your question to be precise, Miss Norby, because I don't have any experience with guavas. Okay, guys, you're not putting all caps, but since we don't have a lot of people in here, I'm going to go ahead and take your question. I have a problem with wasp eating my greens. Deborah West, I've never seen wasp. I heard of wasp eating greens, but it might be something like a grasshopper or a hornworm. And they're usually the same color of the green leaves themselves. But in any event, This time of year, you can spray with neem oil because unless you live in a zone higher than 9, or I should say 8A, you can use pure cold pressed neem oil and about an ounce into a gallon of water and a couple drops of Dawn dish soap. You can also spray with my insect repellent. It's made of garlic, onions, and crushed red peppers. I mentioned it in the video that I posted the other day. And you also can go to my insect control playlist on YouTube and find some more remedies. Hey, GG Naturals Homestead, nice to see you. Okay, guys, I want to check out a post that was held for review. You guys know that I have been attacked by a couple of trolls every week, but it's okay. I mean, I'm not complaining because, could be something worse. Eggplant blooms keep falling off. It was indoors. Need more light, more photosynthesis. Thank you, Laura. You need more sunlight. Okay, get it back outside if you are in a climate that you can. Okay, do muscadines get better with time in the garden? Yes. And yes, I prune mine. I'm going to recommend Norby that you go to Ison's nursery website. They are the kings of muscadines. It's been in their family for generations. And they have several videos on their website that gives you explicit instructions on how to prune muscadine vines. Okay? Ison's nursery online. Hey, Bull, good to see you. Man, you get ready to make some gumbo out of that rooster, huh? You got to show him who's boss. Okay. Thank you, Shantae says, for the advice when flipping your canning jars upside down to make sure there are no leakages. I'm new to canning, and they were not sealed. Now, Shantae, you didn't flip them down over until after 24 hours, correct? Don't do it right away. Leave them unbothered with maybe a towel over them or a paper towel for 24 hours. Then you can flip them over. But it's good that you found out that they weren't sealed because you can put those in the refrigerator and eat those first. Okay, hello, Lady Cheryl. Can I use frozen berries for jams and jellies? You most certainly can. Somebody emailed me. It was either email or it was in the comment section of one of my videos. And but she wanted to know, can you can frozen fruit? And the answer to her question was only frozen berries, like strawberries, blueberries, mulberries, all kind of berries, grapes, muscadines. You can make jam and jellies out of that. But I used to buy back in the day this mixed bag from Sam's Club, and it had cantaloupe and honeydew melon scoops and pineapple and all of that in there, mixed with the grapes, the cherry, blah, 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 blah. I don't suggest that you can that. So yes, Wild Bee, you certainly can use frozen berries for jams and jelly. And Deborah says she lives in 8A. Let me go back to your question, Deborah. I don't want to get it confused. I need to know what zone you were living in for what reason. Anyway, I see Peanut is in here. Thank you, Peanut, for joining tonight. I know that you've been having some bad weather, and I've been trying to listen to some of your videos while I'm working on my product line. Man, I've really been praying for you because I know you all in Louisiana have really been hit hard. Siobhan is from Zone 8A. Hello, Brenda. Nice to see you. Hello, Ladybug Palmer. let me see. Candy today. All right. You go ahead, Miss Ladybug. Any advice on papaya and mango? I don't grow those. I'm not saying they cannot be grown in my zone 8A. I just haven't tried to push the issue with too many citrus trees. I have 8. I have 2 sour sops, 2 Mexican key limes, 2 improved Meyer lemons, 1 calamandan, and 1 mijo satsuma. And I live in 8A, and we can get down to 16, 15 degrees. So I don't want to be fooling around with mangoes and papaya because I'm getting too old to be moving those big heavy trees in pots, okay? So I wish I could help you. I do would recommend that you go to Dan's Permaculture Food Forest. He's growing both of those. Dan's Permaculture Food Forest. Tell them Miss Lady Cheryl sent you. Somebody looking at my furniture? You like my sofas? Oh, that's cute. Thank you. Correct, it was days later. Shantae. Something fell off days later. Okay, guys, it's about 7:14. Thank you, Muhammad. Hey, Chef Dagger, nice to see you. Okay, besides jelly jams, any suggestions on what we can can in 1/4 pint jars? I put, well, it's still a jelly. You could do like a chutney, a mango salsa, something like that. Occasionally, I'll buy 1 or 2 of those and make that. A corn relish. I do tomato jam again, but it's not a lot of sugar in it. Something that I know that, I'm not going to eat a whole lot of. Hi, Strawberry. I don't know if I say your name correct, but you know what? You watch my videos, and I always spell your name out when I am on my cell phone in my comments, and I would just put SOBE, and then it automatically spells your name out. So, I appreciate you. Clausen World, you're another one that my auto fill in on my cell phone will fill in your name too. Thank you so much for attending, Clausen World. Okay. Okay, I'm going to read Dottie's and Supreme. Hey, nice to see you, Supreme, and your whole family. And your wife, especially Miss Supreme, who is a wonderful helpmeet to you. Dottie Z, I just bought an apple and a peach tree. Neither are doing well in zone 7. Is that normal for this first year? Yeah, Dottie, because you're going into your fall. I'm in zone 8A in Texas, and even though we had 100 degrees a few weeks ago, and now it's cooler temperatures, my leaves are changing. So if it's not doing too well, it may just be the time of the year, okay? Hang in there. Research how much water that it needs. I can tell you this, an apple tree can take more water than a peach tree. Do not give your peach tree too much water. You might want to water it, every day for the first day or 2 that you get it, maybe 3 days. But after that, once a week. Peach trees don't like wet feet. Peach and cherry. An apple is good. Okay. Hey, Nas. You should be getting your seeds pretty soon. I sent them first class retail. I just haven't gotten around to giving you a tracking number yet because I've been real busy with my product line. Hey, F.R. Humphrey, thank you so much. I don't see... somebody must have put a link to their channel. We don't do that. Sometimes I will cause, I just see one just came up and it's held for review, and I don't have time to read it, and I don't have a moderator in here yet. But if you guys see anyone in here saying something obscene, I call them cheese sandwiches, please let me know in all caps so I can take them out. So if you just tuned into my live to promote your channel, you need to go live on your own channel. I'm just going to be honest with you. But I do allow people to say where they are and what zone they're in, and if I have a subscriber or somebody in my chat and I don't have the answer to the question like I did tonight about the papayas and the mangoes, I recommend Dan's Permaculture Food Forest. And to that person that asked me that, I just saw Supreme Gardening Family is in here too. Check out Supreme Gardening Family. They grow tropical trees. Okay, so now let's get on to what we need to talk about. The first thing is I had more response than I anticipated on the conference call for the pressure canning conference. So I'm going to have to split it up to 2 parts. And the first one will be next Sunday. And I'm going to make it real easy on everybody to remember. It will be at noon Central Time, the same time zone here in Texas and in Chicago. Now, if you are on my list and you know who you are, because I've already responded to you, got you, I'll let you know, blah, blah, blah. Please email me in the subject line, I'm available Sunday for the class. Let me look at the date. That's going to be Sunday, the 13th of September at noon Central Time Zone. Texas and Chicago has the same time zone. So if you're not sure what time zone that is, right now it is 7:19. So wherever you are, you can calculate it. Okay, and I will email you at 11 o'clock Central Time Zone on Sunday with the conference call number and the password. Now, it is a free conference call, but they bug you every day for a donation until you donate. So, I am donating money to have these conference calls. Okay? And the first 10 people sign up, they will be in that first conference call. The next one will be on the 20th of September. It's a Sunday, the same time, 12 noon. If you know that you have to work, or if your community is back into church service, mine is not yet, because the virus is still real hot. We're the number 2 spot in the world. Well, yeah, I think it's the world, because America is the number 1 spot for the virus, the cases. But Texas is number 1, I think California now. 2, and California is number 1. So either the 13th or the 20th. Now, if you schedule for the 13th and you don't tell me until 12:05 and you want to get into the next one, unless you have a real good reason, I can't hold that spot for you. Remember, these are all free, okay? So if I'm willing to do this free, you all can at least do your part. I've set up Zoom meetings and conference calls and people didn't show up. And that's not fair to me. Because in case you all don't know it, I'm real busy. I'm retired, but I'm in kindergarten with Bria. I'm going to tell you all, that was a trip. I still do hair. I call my clients and I say, I can't do you all. I've been in kindergarten all day and I'm just tired. So I moved them to Saturday, and now I'm going to do this canning stuff. And then you guys know that I launched my line, and I was so inundated with orders, and I'm not bragging, I'm just stating facts, that I was just amazed. Old customers that I had before I went on hiatus, and I'm still developing stuff. And so I just want to share this with you real quick. Everybody's been asking about the scent in the creamy body butter, and the scent that is also in the hair milk, and the scent that is in the total body oil, And you asked for it, I heard you, and now you can get the fragrance. And that's a little piece of the hibiscus. Can you see that in there? That I grow in my backyard, that I infuse into that scent. And by the way, it is made of essential oils, no synthetic cheap fragrances. It's lemongrass, lavender, hibiscus oil, and almond oil, because it is so strong that you don't need to put pure essential oils on your skin. So I had to buffer it a little bit with the almond oil. And almond oil is odorless. My son tells me, Mama, you be telling everybody. I said, no, I don't mind telling people what's in it. They don't know my formulas. I've been working on these formulas for a long time, okay? So if you check out my website, and I'm gonna mention that, and then I'm gonna move on to gardening, and then back to pressure canning. If you check out my website, it is Lady Cheryl's products with the S on the end.com. Everybody got it? You want to write it down or screenshot it? LadyCherylsProducts.com. I appreciate if you all would check me out. If you want to get your wife a gift, check me out. I'm starting to put some gift sets on there. And by the way, this is Bria's little board. She has the computer and she has to write things, and she holds it up and shows it to her teacher. Okay, LadyCherylsProducts.com. Okay, there's a couple questions came in. Rena, you say you just came in. It's a little bit too late, babe. It's a little too late to get in on the pressure canning conference call because I'm booked. I've got over 20 people. Okay, let me go back in. But I will be doing it again. What is it? What was her name? I will be doing it again. Rena, I will be doing it again, but I'm booked up for September. Hey, Pit Stop Kitchen and Garden. Do you overwinter herbs here in 8A? Okay, I'm not answering questions right now, but I'm going to get yours real quick, Ebony, because we do that in the beginning of the live, okay? So come in a little early. But yes, I do overwinter parsley and sage. That's the only thing I can leave outside, and that it'll come back. Sometimes thyme will come back, but I don't really like a lot of thyme. Okay, hey J3GS Farms. Okay, Rena, I'll let you know. Okay, so Miss Cheryl, I haven't got my hair products yet. Brenda King, email me and we'll track it. It's probably going to be there Tuesday after the holiday. But nothing has come back, and I sent you a confirmation when you ordered it, and I sent you a email when it shipped, and nothing has come back, but I can track it. Okay, so go back and look at your shipping date, and you know about where you live. But I will, if you email me to remind me, let me write a note right now, because I may forget. Brenda King. I'll go to the post office site and check out your tracking information. And I'll email you, Brenda. Because we got so many orders so fast that we couldn't keep up with all the tracking numbers. But going forward, we started including the tracking number so you could track it yourself. Okay. And the package is insured, so don't worry about it. I made sure that I insured everything. Okay. Angela Franklin. I received my products and I immediately started using them. I'm really pleased with them. Thank you. No, thank you, Angela. And if you would email me your reviews with your permission for me to use it, I will put it on my website. Now, let me share this with you all, and I hope you all don't think I'm bragging. When I got sick and had to have surgery and I had to shut down the website, I had all kinds of reviews from clients, some people well known, some not, but people are people. I don't want to use those old reviews. I want to use new reviews. I was featured in Blacktress Hair Magazine. I can't think of the salon magazine here in Dallas, the Dallas area, and the Reader's Digest for my hair care book. I was featured on Channel 8 News for my products, and it went all over ABC affiliates. But I don't want to put the old things on there. I want to put current. So those of you that have purchased the products, I know I have a good product. Because 30 years standing behind that chair and lecturing in those beauty college, I learned a lot. So I'm confident in what I put out, and I'm not going to put out any junk. But it would be good if you all would let people know how you feel about it so I can put those new reviews on the website. I would appreciate that very much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Yolanda. Thank you so much. Now, let's get back to the canning. So those dates, let me put my calendar up again, is September 6th and September 13th. It's only for pressure canning the people that already confirmed that they were ready for the conference. I'm not calling out any names. You guys know who you are. The first 10 people I get for the 6th, and the next 10 people will be on the 13th. If you miss your time slot, unless it's an act of God, I'm sorry, I'll do you guys in October. Now, here is the criteria. I already mentioned it, but I want to reiterate it for the people that are new tonight and they want to get in on the class in October, free of charge. We're going to pressure can meat. And the reason why I chose meat is because if you can pressure can meat, I'm going to hold your hand for 90 minutes plus, you can pressure can anything. I'm requesting whatever meat you choose, you have it ready, raw packed, jars, sanitized, meat in the jars, the lids on the jars, and sealed. Okay? And your canners on the stove with the appropriate amount of water. Read your directions for your manufacturer of your canner. And be ready to roll at 12 o'clock. We're not going to wait on anybody. I don't mean to be rude, but we're going to be in this conference call for about 2 hours. Okay? Okay. How should one prepare for the canning class before signing up? BB, go back and look at my lives on canning or any of my canning videos and make sure you have all of your equipment. I'm sorry I didn't bring it all out tonight because I thought everybody would be ready. And that's your pressure canner, your jars with your lids, your tongues to move it out of the water, a debubbler. Well, you can do all of you'll know all of that because we're not going to do that part. We're going to rock and roll with the part when you put the jars in the water. Now, anybody signing up for the class, if you have an electric stove, make sure that your stove can accommodate your canner. Make sure that your stove, and if the person is in this live, don't say anything because I'm not calling out any names. I was on a call with her and the young lady couldn't get her stove to get hot. And then I had somebody lined up after her and I had to, keep calling back and it was just too hard. So you do a trial run to make sure that your water will boil at least in the canner, that it will come to a boil. Okay? All right. Another thing is, Miss B. Washington, you need to know what altitude you are. so that you'll know what pressure weight to put on your canner. If it's an American canner, it is called a weight. I think it's called a, what is it, guys? A toggle for Presto? And nobody, please don't show up in the class with a pressure cooker, because they are not the same. You have everything but the jars. Great, Cha-Cha. Try Fillmore. Is it Fillmore? Fillmore.com. I got an email from them today. I was going to pick up my phone, but my phone is up there. I'm filming from the phone. Oh, did you know what? Oh, I don't want to log out of here. Okay, who said they had everything but their jars? Cha-Cha, are you signed up for the class? If you signed up for the class, email me. I'll give you some links where you can get jars. Okay. Do it matter if we use an electric pressure canner? No, ma'am, it doesn't matter. But you probably want to turn it on because it's going to have to heat up a little bit longer. Thank you, Nas. Pressure regulator for the Presto. Thank you. And by the way, if any of you are out there and you have an old canner, you might want to go through a trial run. And Ace Hardware has everything for the Presto canners, the regulators. Okay, I just brought my first pressure canner. I'm going to wait until I read the manual thoroughly and be enjoying your videos. I have the All-American canner. How do we sign up for the class? NLE soap is too late, but it'll be open up for signing up again the 1st of October. Okay. NLE soaps and somebody else that asked me, you can email me to see if somebody drops out. Okay, and I'll put you on the waiting list. And you can email me here, Cheryl Moss 0875 at att.net. Okay? Cheryl Moss 0875 at att.net. Not AT&T, it's att.net. Everybody got it? Hi, Jean Dudley. Hello, Maria Gonzalez. Okay. How do we prepare for the... I answered your question. Okay, I'm just making sure that I got everybody. Is there a way to email you a picture? What I can to tell you if I did and I can't. I can't tell by a picture, sweetie. But you can check that email out and send me, and you can attach a picture. Cheryl Moss 0875 at att.net. But I really can't tell by a picture unless it's something very obviously wrong, okay? Just watch some of my videos and I give you all kind of tricks. And like somebody was just mentioning, they said they was glad that I said turn that upside down after 24 hours to see if it leaks. You'll know that it's not sealed. Mary Furch, hi Lady Cheryl, win the class. I signed up, have heard. You typing too fast, baby. I think you saying you signed up and you haven't heard back from me. Where did you sign up at, Mary? Again, here's the email. Cheryl Moss 0875 at att.net. Now, you can always go back and replay this and catch up. You may have sent it to the wrong email address, because if you put canning class in the subject line, I don't see how I missed it. I don't think I got it. If I did, I apologize, sweetie, because I'm not perfect. But I don't recall getting one from you. So, email me again, and we'll put you on for October. You said, you answered, but you said you'll get back. Okay, you on the list. Mary, if I answered you and I said, got it, you're on the list, I'll get back with you. I'm getting back with you today. Okay, Mary? I'll get back with you in my live. I'm trying to be nice. I don't want to say nothing off the wall. I got you. Now I do remember your name. Okay. All right. Okay, guys. You answered, but you said you'd get back with me. Nah, isn't that what I said to you too? And anybody else in here, I said the same thing. Okay, I got you. I'll get back with you. I can't find your sauce video. It's in my playlist. The one with the meat in it, best yet? Should be in my playlist. If not, just do a search. Okay? Oh, Mary says she just happened to catch it now. Okay, Mary. I'm never gonna remember. I'm never gonna forget your name, Mary Lurch Furch. Church. Okay. All right. Any more questions about canning? I'm excited. Everybody's going to be ready. All you got to do is go back and watch my candy meat videos. It's going to be easy. It's going to be a lot of fun. Don't be nervous. I got you. I'm not hanging up until everybody's pressure canner reads 0 and there's no pressure in the canner. I'm about to pressure can chili 1 peppers. Lady Cheryl, does it matter what size jars? No. Quarts would be easy for meat though. Whatever canner you have, quarts will be easier. Okay? All right. Good luck, Tanya, with that pressure canning. How soon could... I told y'all October 1st. Miss B. Washington, you are so sweet. You could go ahead on and sign up now. I'll put you on the waiting list. Okay. Okay, I'm just going back, guys, and making sure that I didn't miss anything. And my own internet is what do you call it? Buffering. But my phone is still going live with YouTube. That's weird. Okay. Answered all the questions about canning? Okay. And I see my name is, I typed in a live chat about gardening Ann's pressure Annie. So I will be editing that. Okay. I don't have any moderators in here, so I'm going to ask you all to hit the like button for your lovely hostess. Just minimize it and hit the like button. That helps me out. Left and right say, oh, shucks, we're going to be canning? Yeah, we're going to be canning, girl. Do the jars need to have liquid in them? If it's chicken, no. The chicken will make its own liquid. But if you go back and watch my video before next Sunday, you'll see that I add bone broth to mine. And guys, you also can add a bouillon. You can add garlic. You can add onions. You know, when you pressure can, you can tailor make it to your taste. So you got some homework. Thank you, Yolanda. She said, thank you, Quintella. You said homework. Yep, you got some homework. Y'all, if you all want this, y'all gonna make me get up and go get some chicken in the can. If you all want this, you're gonna have to do your homework, okay? And once you do your homework, you are not gonna have any problems canning anything else. Okay, Keith said, you must have done quite a few of those conference calls. Are there any common reoccurring issues newbies need to help you deal with it? No, I got it. I opened up a school, beauty college for Aladdin Beauty College in the 80s, downtown Dallas. And we opened up with 250 students. And I had to teach them theory. I was the director of the school, but I was the educator too. And I mean, I could do it. It's not going to be an issue. I'm going to have to tell a couple people take some deep breaths and relax. I got you, and it's going to be okay. But Kiefer, thank you very much for wanting to assist. Thank you so much. Okay, now we're going to move on to our fall gardens, and I'll close it back out with any other additional canning questions. Now, you all remember, it looks kind of dark in here. You know what it is? It's getting real dark outside because it's getting ready to rain. Because my patio door is back here and there's no curtains. It's just frosted glass, and it's just dark because it's getting ready to rain. So you remember last week I told you guys how I was doing my seedlings, and I said it's going to be about another month and I'm going to be able to keep them in these cups. And I showed you guys how, I water from the bottom. You can see I'm going to drip it on my keyboard because I did that last week. And so I water them from the bottom, and then this is perfectly dry so I don't have any gnats in my house, right? Well, this is not going to stay in this cup for another month. I brought these out of my grow room because these going outside tomorrow. Because let me put my dark skin up against there. Maybe you can see some of those roots. Can you see that? So those roots are already hanging down and seeking out the water. So that was a turnip. And here's a mustard green. And you can really see these. I'm going to go close. Can you all see them? That can't stay in here any longer. So these are going out into a garden bed tomorrow. I'll just pull some out. I got like two big, well, let me do it like this. And if you're new and you're just catching me for the first time, I'm getting new subscribers daily. These little trays that they're in, I get these at Lowe's. Lowe's buy their Bonnie plants directly from the nursery. So they don't come back and pick those little holes up, okay? So those cups fit perfectly into those containers. And I got these from Amazon, 150 for about $12.99, 18 ounce, 16 ounce. It's still not too late, especially those of you that live in zones 9 and higher. It's still not too late to start seeds, okay? So that was one tray. I'm going to push that out the side, and I'm going to show you some more. Look how big that turnip is right there. Again, when I walk through Lowe's, I pick up these free. Okay? So I got turnips, 2 types of mustards, 2 types of kale, Georgia collards, blah, blah, blah. Last week, and I hand directly sowed, broad spread some seeds, spinach seeds with Bria. Not the video I dropped yesterday, but the one before that. So I also have those greens. Now, last week I showed you the fancy schmancy full spectrum lights, and I compared the results with the regular shop lights with the 32-watt bulb, the little, the garage shop lights. All the plants that you just see, you can't see them again, but I'm just going to hold them up. All of these plants that you see, these were the ones that were done with the cheap lights. So you don't have to buy expensive equipment to just start some seedlings or some greens, especially, or cold crops in your home, okay? But if you're going to have something that's going to fruit, because I did an experiment 2 years ago, right over in this corner in my dining room, I brought in one of those big shelves out of my grow room, and I grew a tomato plant from seed to harvest. but it was just little cherry tomatoes. That would not grow up under a shop light. It would need a full spectrum light. I know I'm reviewing for some of you. Nas, you all heard this before, but we got people in here for the first time. So we got to catch them up. Now, remember this tomato plant last week? Look how much it's grown. Once it takes off, it takes off. So this is an experiment. These are 2 mortgage lifters. See the 2 individual plants? I'm going to put this in a 17-gallon bucket. I'm leaving these here right on my dining room table tonight because I'm going to plant all of this outside tomorrow. And here is the brandy wine. And what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do this for you guys so you can see. See, I'm taking that leaf off. I'm just pinching it off. And you know, you can go and get your little shears and snip them off if you want to. But I can just pinch it with my fingernail. And I am going to bury this plant all the way up to here. That's why I took the leaves off. You don't have to take the leaves off. They'll just decay up under the dirt, but I just take them off. And I'm going to bury that plant all the way to here. Everybody with me? Because if you look real close, I'm going to put this way up close to the camera. Let me see if I can put something black behind it. You see those little fibrous roots? Anybody see it? You see those fibrous roots? All of those will take hold. Okay? So, all of this that I just showed you will be planted tomorrow because it has cooled down. Now, I'm not going to harden these off. Okay, good. You can see them. I am not, Lady Cheryl, are they free? No, you don't have to pay for them at Lowe's. Home Depot won't give them to you because Bonnie's, they subcontract from Bonnie's, and all what they don't sell, they pick these back up and they recycle them. But Lowe's buy their plants outright. That's why they have a clearance section. Before the pandemic, me and Bria would go almost every day to see what I could find on life support. It was like a thrill for me to take a plant that looks like it's dead and then bring it back. Okay? But I don't do that now. I don't walk around in stores unless I absolutely have to. Okay? So you don't have to pay for them. Very good. So now, I know what I was getting ready to say. Hi, Miss Cheryl, I'm trying to follow in your footsteps. I bought a Kalamata and a lime tree on sale today from Home Depot to add to my other 8 fruit trees. What size pot can I plant them in? At least 5 gallons or more. Okay? Yeah, plants on life support. It's a thrill to get a plant for $1 or $2. And that's how I started my society garlic. I probably got 100 plants now. I started only with 3 plants. Is that 3 fingers? 3 plants from Home Depot. And a couple months later, I propagated them. And I took 3 and I made it to 9. And it just kept propagating. And I've got videos on that too. And a lot of people didn't even watch that video. And it's just amazing what people will watch and what they won't watch. The stuff that you can get real cheap and keep multiplying free, that's the kind of stuff I want to know about. But everybody's not into that. It might be a fear of propagating too, but it's so easy. In fact, the last time we did it, I had Brian. He was 7 at the time. Y'all know my gardening buddies with my daughter's children. She lives a mile and give me a half, but it's not even a half. It's a mile and a fourth from me. And so those children, I love all my grandkids, but they're around me more. But nobody came around me from the end of February until about May because the pandemic was so scary. But now that we know that we are all self-distancing and taking all kinds of precautions with masks and sanitation, those children can come around. All my grandkids, really. But the ones that I don't see as often, I still love them too. I miss them. Okay. And I'll be glad when we get back to normal where I can just get a hug. You all know, how many of you all got grandkids and you can't hug them? You all know what I'm talking about? It's so hard. It is so hard. I bought all of my trees and perennials. My neighbor talk about how beautiful my yard is. They just don't know how little I've spent. That's right, home inside and out. I'm in 9A. I'm new at this, and I'm learning so much from you and Led. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you very much. Thank you. We appreciate you, too. Because without subscribers, we would have no reason to do these videos. Well, I'm gonna take that back. I started in 2015. I didn't know nothing about being monetized, making money off of YouTube. I just did it because I had thyroid surgery. Was forced into retirement. Y'all probably sick of my story. But I was forced into retirement. I couldn't hardly talk. I'm sitting up in this big house, kids all grown, and I said, Lord, let me. The one day I watched the video, I said, oh, I could do that. And I just started making videos. It wasn't until this year that I got monetized, during the pandemic. Yes, I'm a mom too. Yeah, it's so hard. I have a new grandson. Oh, man, Zach. I feel you, brother. I have a new grandson that I haven't been able to hold yet. Man, that's rough. Boy, that's rough. See, and here I am talking about the little roughnecks that I can't hold, and here you got a sweet little baby, and you know how those babies smell. Wow. Okay, so now, I'm not going to harden these off. Now, I know you're all saying, Lady Cheryl, why are you going to take a chance on those plants and throw them outside in the elements? I'm going to put an insect covering over them, and I'm going to put a 50% shade cloth on them. So they will not be getting direct full sun. And if I see they are wilting, I have 90% shade cloth. Now, this will be my next video. I'm going to set my tripod up outside. I'm going to try to get on my knees and do it and film it. If not, I'll just take pictures of here and there and put it all together. But I'm going to show you all what I'm doing. Okay? So if the weather stays cool, I'll just leave the 50% shade cloth on it. If it gets hot and it's too much sun and they start drooping, I'm going to put the 90% shade cloth on it. And take it off certain times of the day and put it back on until they get strong enough to handle it. Because I showed you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. I showed you 20 cups of seedlings. I have that much and one. I just showed you 10 and 10, and I have 30 still in the grow room. So I'm gonna be okay. If I lose a few, it'll be okay. I want to see if I can put these out without hardening them off all the way. And if you don't know what hardening off is, check my playlist. But let me just say real quickly. If you up under a shop light or a fluorescent light or a full spectrum grow light, you can't just take your plants and put them out in the full sun, especially if it's hot. To do that will make them go into shock and they will wilt and burn up and just die. So hardening off is when you take them from one environment and move them to another environment, and you do it in slow increments, like 15 minutes at a time. Okay? But I remember last year, I didn't bring these seedlings in the house at all. I kept them outside, and I just kept shading them. And I lost some along the way, but it didn't get as hot. It didn't stay as hot long. We didn't have temperatures in the hundreds. I don't recall in August, the last of August, like we did here this year. Okay? All right, let me get my comments. Let's catch up. So that's the hardening off process, is when you acclimate them from inside to outside, and you put them in full sun for about 15 minutes and bring them back, shade them. Then you put them back in sun the next day in the sun for 30 minutes. Keep increasing increments of 15 until they can withstand full sun. Another thing I do is I put a fan. I have one here, you probably can see. I have one oscillating around my seedlings so it can mimic wind. So these seedlings are used to the wind being on them, which is the fan mimicking wind. Okay. All right, so let's go. Let me catch up what's going on. Can you tell me how to start a good home container compost? Autumn, that's a little too time consuming. That's just a little bit too much to ask during the live, and I really don't have time right now. I'm trying to think of who in this chat room. Why don't you just buy potty mix? That's what I do. Why don't you buy potty mix? But you can use, let me tell you real quickly. You can take topsoil, perlite, vermiculite, and peat moss and mix it all together. Excuse me. Or you could just buy potty mix. And I don't want to have to go into all detail because that's just a lot to do. So for a container garden, the easiest, quickest way is to buy a potty mix or a mix that is for containers. Okay, because I add compost to mine, worm castings, and all that. If you have any questions, thank you, Cha-Cha. And the questions are supposed to go at the beginning of the live. I'm trying to see if I'm getting all the questions. Cha-Cha, was your statement, if you have a question, put it on caption. Is that the last thing you see on your screen? Okay. Lady Cheryl, when I bring my calamine tree inside, is there anything special I need to do with it? Nope. Just withhold water. Don't give it any fertilizer. Less water. Okay? And a light or a southern window or a patio door. I didn't bring my calamine in. Well, I have a little greenhouse, so I put mine in the greenhouse. Thank you, Shantae. What's a reasonable price for a shade cloth? Angela? I don't know. I'm going to tell you my secret. I buy all of my shade cloths and things like that in the wintertime on eBay, Amazon, and greenhousemegastore.com. And I bought 12 by 12s, 8 by 10s. I mean, all different sizes. Anywhere from $20 to $40 or $50. So I just have a lot of them throughout the years. But I always buy it in the wintertime. I've seen some videos where people say they have bought some from Home Depot. I just haven't bought any. Okay. Am I too late to start a fall garden in 6B? I really don't know, sweetie. I know that you're in a colder climate, but if you're willing to invest in PVC hoop pipes, white pipes, and bend them and make a hoop house, you can cover your beds. Just a minute. For future reference, and for anybody else that lived in a cold climate, this is a book I recommend by Elliot Coleman, 4-Season Harvest. And you can have a garden even if you lived in Chicago and you had snow and 5 below zero. There's some greens and things like that. Like I just showed you, the kale, cabbage, collards. I said kale, didn't I? Turnips. They can take a low temperature. So I would recommend that you check this book out at the library or go online to see if you can get it used. Or if you have the finances, you can buy it new off Amazon. But you can take 6 mil greenhouse plastic and put it over your hoop house out of PVC. Did I say that right? I always mess up PCB, PVC pipes. Thank you, Colossal World. And put that over your bed, and you can increase your temperature between 8 to 10 degrees. And if you live like, in the Chicago area or Maryland or anywhere where it snows a lot, I'm originally from Indiana. You could put 2 covers of 6 mil greenhouse plastic over it, and you can lower your temperature about 20 degrees. Raise your temperature about 20 degrees. So, with that being said, I wouldn't start seeds now. I would buy starts if I were you. And start making preparations. Let me tell you what I do. For the last few years, I haven't put any plastic over my beds because I got a little larger greenhouse than the one that I had when I was using that. But you can go back and look at some of my videos in my winter gardening stuff, and you'll see those hoop houses. Because I had a 10 by 10 by 7 greenhouse, 7 feet tall, 10, 10. And then I got a 10, 20 feet, 7 feet high, so I have more room. So the last couple of years, I timed it just right. Well, I really harvest almost everything out of my 2 main garden beds, all the greens and stuff. And I didn't have to cover them up. And the lowest temperature we got was 16 degrees last year. So your collards, your kale, they can take all the way down to 5 degrees. I did a video on it. You have to check my list because I have so many videos I can't specifically tell you the name of it. But if you go and you look and see something that says like fall gardens or seed starting playlist, if you go look down that list, you'll find it, okay? And somebody says, I already made the hoop houses with pipes. So that's good to know. All right. Very good, Home Inside and Out. Because I use those same pipes for my insect netting. Because all of the insects, most of them will be gone, pretty soon. But you're still going to have that stubborn off-white cabbage moth that's going to lay those eggs that's going to turn into worms. So I cover mine up and I don't even have to spray. When I put these starts, I'm going to make a video. You're going to see it. When I put these starts in the ground, I will cover it up with insect netting and shade cloth. You'll see. I already said that. I don't want to keep repeating myself. Okay. My kale, Catherine. Hey, I didn't know you were here. Nice to see you, Miss Catherine. Yes, my kale made it even though it snowed. I've grown kale for a year. My YouTube daughter, Green Organic Love, is growing kale. She's been growing it for a year out in California. Yes. I'm in 6A, and somebody said they wouldn't bother starting a fall garden after the first week of August unless you have protection and use starts, as Lady Cheryl suggested. Yes. What's the okra tea recipe? Okay, let me just go get some. I let a few pods get big for seeds, but I've collected all that I want. So I take these out, and then I just cut, the stem off here and the tip here, and I just take a little paring knife and just, after I wash them and go down like so, and just boil it. It's just 2 cups of water, maybe 5 pods. It will lower your glycemic index if you are predisposed to diabetes, like I am. And so far, for 12 years, I haven't had to take any medication. So, yeah, the okra water. And you know who told me about it? And it was the lady from the Philippines. Told me about it in my gardening group. And then I started researching. I said, man, why I never knew that? And diabetes running my family. And I just started researching, and I just started doing it. Another thing I do as far as health is concerned is I drink hibiscus tea. And I've made videos on that. And I let them dry naturally in a lunch bag, brown bag. I don't waste time putting it in dehydrated because the petals are so thin and they dehydrate so quickly. I don't waste time putting them in the dehydrator. I just put them in a bag and put them in a cabinet. And that lowers your blood pressure. So there's a lot of stuff that we could be drinking and eating out of our gardens that will make us feel better. Hi, Lady Owl. Thank you for coming in. Okay, so I think I answered all of your questions. Home inside and out, get some starts. Somebody, Lady Owl, said twin sheets. Yes, you can use those for shade cloths, and you can also use twin sheets as a windbreak for like a frost cloth. I'll never buy a frost cloth again. I bought all those expensive expensive frost cloths from Greenhouse Mega Store. And they got holes in them. I'll just use sheets. Okay. Look on the Farmer's Almanac. Very good, Quintella. And you can find out your first frost date. It's already calculated in there. All you got to do is put your zip code. It'll tell you your zone. And it'll give you a list of things that you can grow. And how many days it's going to be before a heavy frost. But keep in mind, there are a lot of things that you can grow. It doesn't matter if you get a frost or not. Because like I said, collards can take a freeze, a hard freeze. Lady Catherine mentioned it. At what temp should fruit trees be pulled inside? Very good question, because I wanted to mention that. It would depend on your tree. For example, my Miho Satsuma can take temps as low as 10 degrees. My Improved Meyer lemons and my Mexican key limes, I think it's 29 degrees, but I don't let them stay out there. I bring them into the greenhouse. And I have commercial electric cords running to my outside sockets, so I can turn on a small space heater if I need to. My soursop trees, however, will die. They won't just go into shock. They will die if they are left in 40 degrees or less. So they will be the first thing that will come into the house. Soursops. My calamondin can take, I think it's 20 degrees, but I bring them in when temperatures are expected to freeze at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's a very good question to ask. I appreciate you asking that, because that was on my list. But I've covered everything that I wanted to talk about on my little list here. So I'm going to open the floor back up to questions. If you have a question, type it in all caps. And if not, it's about 8:11. I'm going to be off here about 8:15. So if you have a question, now is the time. And don't forget, next Monday, I will be back to my regular schedule. And next Sunday will be the first canning class in that first group on the 6th. And then the next group will be on the 13th. Okay? Any questions? Let's see. Have you done a gardening hacks video before where you feature tips like using sheets? I do that in every video. You know, and I've had people to sarcastically tell me, wow, your video was loaded with a lot of different stuff. I took it as being sarcastic, but I always do that. But what I call those hacks, I call them pearls from Lady Cheryl, and I'll put that in. What do you call it, guys? When it scrolls, not scrolls, but it's right there on the screen. I give my pearls. So I tell you something that I've learned, and I didn't, learn from a book or video. They didn't have any YouTube videos when I started gardening over 30 years ago. So just from my experience, I always give you pearls from Cheryl. Okay, let's see. How do I preserve my jalapeno peppers for the winter? I've never overwintered a jalapeno pepper, but I would imagine it would be just like all the rest of them. You want to bring it in. If you have a basement, you want to cut them down to about 2 feet, withhold the water, and that's it. I just bring mine into the greenhouse, and I cut them down about 2 feet. I don't give them any type of worm casting tea, nothing. I just give them about a cup of water a month. And I have one that's 4 years old. I did it right this time, guys. 4 years old. Should seeds always be started with new soil? I always start my seeds with seed starting mix. There are a lot of people that believe that they can make their own, but I find by the time I buy perlite, vermiculite, peat moss, and mix it all together, I just buy a $5.99 bag of Jiffy seed starting mix that has all of that in there, and it makes about 12 quarts. And I use boiling water to sanitize it and kill any gnat eggs or fungus that may be in those ingredients. Now get it at Home Depot. Jiffy seed starting mix. I do not like the little seed pellets or pods, that you put in the water and they swell up. I don't like them. And then they have that little covering on it that they say are biodegradable, but I always find them in my compost and they're not broke down, so I stopped using them. But some people direct sow right into the ground or right into their beds, but I like to use seed starting mix. Okay. Hello, I would like to know what you think of the Farmer's Almanac. Ruth, I refer somebody to it every week. I love the Farmer's Almanac online. My grandparents, they used to have the little book, and my mother. And they used to pierce ears by the moon and signs and plant certain things, But it has become more modernized. And with the internet, you can just type in, you just go to the internet site and put in your zip code and get your gardening zone. Put in your zip code and get the first expected frost date. And it will tell you when you can start seeds or transplants for specific plants. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, everyone. You're from South Jersey. Thank you, Lori. We're glad you're here. Okay. Hi, Janice. Okay, so now, if everybody, you say you love the pearls, Cheryl, cha-cha-cha, thank you. If everybody would put in where they're from, can you use tote to grow greens? Yes, ma'am, all the time. Should you fertilize fruit trees through the winter? No, I don't believe in chemical fertilizers, period, but I don't give my fruit trees any fertilizer during the winter. Let me back that up and say, no, yes, I do. I give my lemons and limes, because they aren't usually ready to harvest until about March. So I will give them some fermented comfrey tea or worm casting tea or weed tea or something like that. Yes, I pour boiling water over the Jiffy Seed starting mix. If you will go to my playlist for starting seeds, you'll see me do it every time. Okay, so you guys, I think somebody's probably trying to put links in here and your messages are not going through. You could put your gardening zone and you could put yes if you have a YouTube channel, and people can find you by your name. But YouTube is starting something new. They're holding, if you're trying to put links in here, they are holding it for review. Okay. My greens do better in containers than in the ground. And my in-ground greens do pretty well. Very good. Well, see, I'm in Mesquite, Texas, and we have a really bad rainy period. So we get really a lot of rain, flooding rain. And then we can have periods where we have heavy droughts where we don't get any rain at all. So I plant everything either in containers or a raised garden bed, except for mature trees, because they'll just be swimming in water. Clausen World has a YouTube channel. Best Yet Journey has a YouTube channel. And you guys, you need to, Clausen World, you need to let people know where you are. Thank you, Autumn Whispers. I'm so glad you found me. Okay, what else we got? Stephanie says she got a YouTube channel but no content. Girl, please, you better stop putting some videos, Stephanie. That's funny. I got my mail too. You got your order, Best yet? Is that what you're saying? Thank you. Michelle says she's sorry. Did she miss something? I'm asking people if they have a channel. Please put yes. That you have a channel. So, but when I'm going to fall potatoes. Okay. Michelle, we're putting down if we have a YouTube channel so people can follow you. Oh, good, Best yet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, and I looked up something. I sent you, well, we'll talk about it later in the email. But do you have a post office box? I think that's where I sent your book to the first time. I think I found that today. Is it a good time to plant garlic and red onions outdoors or indoors? Bugs Boy, you need to check with your check with Farmer's Almanac. I don't know. I don't have all the sources for all the different zones. You say you're in NC, North Carolina 6B. Check with the Farmer's Almanac online. Okay. Yeah, because that's where that book went to, Best yet, the first one. Let me know because that package was insured. Okay, I think it was. Winter prune fruit trees and grapevines. Fall or the winter. Unless there's an emergency, like you got like a dead limb or something like that, you prune those anytime. Miss Quinn's playroom. Oh, okay. I gotta write that down for my grandbaby. Thank you very much. Okay. And no offense, Bug Boys. I just don't know about your zone. I only memorize things for my area. I use my own compost, but I have issues with weeds. Should I pour boiling water on it? No. Just be careful going forward about putting like grass seeds, weeds with like grass growing in the spring with a lot of weeds. I'm just real careful about what I put in my compost. I don't put anything with seeds in it, like watermelon seeds, things like that. I used to, and then you have all these volunteers, and so I don't do that anymore. But I wouldn't put any boiling water on compost because compost have a lot of live, worms and microorganisms that you need to break down your compost. So I wouldn't put boiling water. I only put boiling water on seed starting mix. And I have sifted some compost and potty mix in the past when I ran out of seed starting mix and boiled it. But straight compost, that's black gold, honey. That's what every gardener wants, some good compost. So no, I try to put half compost, half potty mix in any container. Yes, I've grown garlic and onions. It's not too many stuff that I haven't grown. I ran across my peanuts, Virginia jumbo peanuts. I put on my Facebook group and showed them. Uh, I don't know anything about mango trees. I don't grow them. It's too tropical for me. Check out Supreme Gardening Family and Dan's Permaculture Food Forest. Excuse me. Compost shouldn't have a lot of ants in it. You could put some borax and sugar in there and stir it up, and that will kill ants. You're from Tanzania. I can supply you herbs and food. Thank you, dear, but I grow all my own herbs. Okay, Ruth said you were growing dark kale, but for some reason it stopped growing. Could be. You want to always take the outer leaves from the bottom. Let's pretend this is your kale. You want to get these leaves right here from the bottom. Does that make sense? The outer leaves. Never pluck it from the top or cut it from the top. And never take more than 1/3 off of the plant at one time. It'll go into shock. It may start bolting, thinking it's getting ready to die. Okay. Oh, you've been putting seeds in your compost. No. You know, and some people get a kick out of it. They just throw watermelon in there and and then they like to tell you that they grew cucumbers, and I don't like that. I want to know what is growing in my compost. Lady Cheryl, what was the book you mentioned earlier for growing all year round? It's by Elliot Coleman, 4-Season Harvest. He shows you in this book how you can be in a very freezing cold, snow-ridden environment. I grew up in winters in Indiana. I mean, it was cold. We had blizzards. And when I tell my grandchildren how we walk to school, they look at me like I'm crazy. But it's true. Can I dig up my basil plant and pot for the winter? No, ma'am. It won't work. I've tried that. Unless you live in like a zone 10, 11, it's not going to work. Hi, Toya from California. Yeah, Janice, I wouldn't waste my time because basil grows so quick with seeds. And you don't want to be going through all that stuff stressing you out over a basil plant. If you're going to try to save something hardy like a pepper plant, a banana plant, a lemon tree. You know what I mean? Don't waste your time. Basil is so fragile. It'll probably go into shock when you dig it up. Okay. All right, guys, I think that's it. I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to look at my email. And don't worry about it, Bugs Boy. It's okay. Okay, I'm making sure I'm getting everybody. That's it. All right, guys. I appreciate you coming in early today. Because I know some of you are going to be self-distancing at, your family functions or whatever. So I didn't want to take a chance and, be worrying about tomorrow because I don't even know what I'm going to do yet. But anyway, I got a couple more questions. I'm going to do it. Okay. We grow some of our basil in containers, so we just take it in during the cold months and set it back out when it warms up. Yeah, but you don't want to dig it up, Kiefer. You don't want to be digging it up and then it's going to go into shock and die. I've grown basil in the house right in my dining room with grow lights during the winter, but it was always in a container. You can eat. You can even start some seeds. I've grown oregano, uh, cilantro, parsley. I've done all that in seeds. They have these little kits. You all seen them. Sometimes people give them to me for Christmas gifts or whatever. Okay, Ruth says, my peppermint looks like it's dying. What should I do? Girl, peppermint is the easiest thing to grow, even in the wintertime. So if it looks like it's dying, it might just be going through a process of dying off, but it will come back because it's very invasive. Don't even worry about it. You can leave peppermint outside in below temperatures and it'll come back. Okay, I'll save my peppers. Okay, great. All right. That's it. Thank you all very much for taking time out of your schedule. I'm looking forward to the canning process. You all have a blessed and safe holiday. Make sure that you self-distance and wear your mask. There's some crazy people out here, guys. Don't want to wear it, but I don't want to hear about none of us getting sick, okay? You all know that God loves you, and I love you too. Okay. Bye now.